Ladies, gents, this might be the most important video I've ever made. Shout out to Carl the Moon, because what I'm seeing right here on this chart is absolutely huge. Bitcoin has finally fallen down to the long-term target that I've had of $38,000. 42,000 was my first target. 38,000 was my final level. And what I've been saying about this level since the beginning is that if we do come down to 38,000, which is unlikely, I thought we would first bounce off the 42k level a little bit and then potentially fall down to 38 very briefly. This was the key thing. Very briefly fall down here and then immediately recover back up. And that's what this video is about. Now, you're probably going to know the answer to this by the time you watch this video, but for me right now as it is, this is still fine. It's not good. I'm not happy with it. The fact that we went below 42 is not good, and I've been saying that for a long time. If you go below 42, it's still going to be okay, but I'm not going to be happy about it. And so far, we're responding fairly well. Now, granted, this is super early days. I mean, you know, this is on the 5-minute time frame. We've had this V-shaped correction. This can literally just top out right here and dump all the way back down into the 30k range for sure. Like, that is super possible right now. But in terms of the warning signs, that in terms of the green flags that Bitcoin could paint potentially on this chart right now, this is the best thing that Bitcoin could have done if it's come down to this price level. And that is extremely important to keep in mind right here, because Bitcoin right now is in an extremely bearish place. It's in a place that really has a lot of people very scared and worried in this market. And so far, this perfect V-shaped correction is telling me a lot about where the strength in this market might be. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of live analysis. Take a look at all that volume coming in as well. Very nice. Very good, healthy price action coming off this support level right here. And of course, no surprise that we're finding support here. Now, any of you guys who've been subscribed to this channel for longer than just 2 or 3 days, you will know exactly why I've been looking at this $38,000 level and $42,000 level. We can see that so far in this rally, these are the only 2 places that Bitcoin bounced off from already. So already that analysis was correct. I was looking at potentially going long over here. This would already be, if I traded with 5 times leverage, it would already be a pretty decent, I mean, that's a 5% move, a pretty decent 25% profit on 5 times leverage. Now, I didn't trade this on purpose because this is super risky, and it's one thing to do analysis, but it's another thing to trade. You know, I love to speculate, and obviously if I trade this and I go long right here and ride it up to the all-time high, you know, just using something simple like 5 times leverage would still be an astronomical gain. That would be a 300% increase on my trade, which would be a 4 times return, which is absolutely massive. But you don't need to trade everything you see, and that's very important. You know, right now a lot of people need to be reminded about that. I am a trader in this market for real. I'm not just an investor. I'm a fairly active trader in this market. And one of the key things that I've learned over the years trading this market and losing a lot of money and then making a lot of money is that you don't need to trade everything you see. In fact, you're better off not doing that at all. You're better off, you know, picking out a lot of opportunities that you think are pretty cool to trade and then only really cherry picking the absolute best out of them and deciding what you want to do from there. That is something that I've seen to work very well for myself, and that's very important to make a note on before I carry on in this video, because you know, we go back to the analysis right here, and my god, I mean, it's played out to a T so far. You know, we're getting the bounces where we should have, we're getting the consolidations where we should have. You know, if you watch my previous video, you'll see why on a macro scale I'm actually not worried about this, because right now this is all playing so perfectly into exactly what happened in 2017. You know, bad gets pretty bad. In fact, it gets worse, and then before you know it, the dump is over, and the very next day you're pumping up, you know, $10,000 or whatever. I mean, that's similar to what happened in 2017. And if you missed that, that was in my previous video, so make sure that you do go back and watch it. That video was actually originally a Telegram exclusive, which means that everybody in our free Telegram channel, bear with me because this is actually not showing up, everybody in our free Telegram channel actually had access to this video where I was telling them all about what I was seeing in this market, where we had very impressive results in actually predicting this drop. So right here on screen, hopefully you can see this now, bam, right here, the steps to join our free 4Slice Gold channel, and VIP as well with these 2 boxes down below. But let's switch it right back to the analysis right here, because this is absolutely huge and I can't take my eyes off this. You know, we have fallen through the $42,000 level, and there was practically no support here until the $38,000 level. And like I said, you would have known this after just a few days of watching the channel. So thank you very much to those of you who have subscribed. We're very close to, it's crazy to say out loud, but we're very close to 90,000 subscribers. So let's go pump those numbers up and hit up the likes if you have been finding these videos useful. Thank you all very much. This is exactly where Elon Musk's first major pump in the market topped out at, and it's also where the next rally topped out at, and it's also where we found support at previously as well, directly after these events. So this has certainly been an important level, the $38,500 level, and it's the only significant level directly below 42,000 that I've seen. So I'm very happy with that. Now if we take this forward to the chart, that definitely does show us that we found some support off the 42 level and some support off the 38 level. But if this level fails, I mean, the reason that I'm just so bearish if this level fails is that, you know, we didn't really get any significant reversal points below this level until we start looking at levels closer to perhaps 32,000, and that's what's actually got me so worried about this chart right now. You know, the way I consider key reversal points, key support or resistance levels, is by looking at if they triggered big reversals. So this $42,000 level triggered a very big reversal down to $29,000, which is a big drop. That's about a $13,000 crash that the market saw just off one level. And it also, you know, as soon as we managed to rise above this level, Bitcoin rallied up by another, you know, something crazy like $16,000. So this is a very important level. If we fall below it, we're probably going pretty low, and if we pump above it, we're probably going pretty high. And so that's what I would consider to be a significant reversal level, and any level that triggers significant reversals I would certainly expect to be supports in the future. So that worked out amazingly. It worked out really well, where Bitcoin ended up finding some support off this level twice and rallying up to 45,000, nearly 46,000 twice. That's really healthy price action. We're nearly getting a 10% swing off one basic support level. And you know, we need to keep in mind, I know that, you know, because of this price action in this market, we're expecting the stars and the moon and all the glamour, but an 8% rise, which was as predictable as this, my god, that is very attractive as a trader. You know, I got to show you this again, just these results that we've seen from VIP members that have just been absolutely mind-blowing. Take a look at this. I mean, this is just amazing. I'm so proud to be able to say that I run this group. It is very cool, where we've got this person up here closing a 96% profit, ended up closing this at over a 100% profit. Thank you. You are a legend. Experience in VIP has been life-changing so far, to say the least. I still have so much to learn. Really glad I decided to join this group. Excited for what's to come in the coming months. I mean, these are the kind of sentiments that we're seeing from people who, and this profit was just, I think, yesterday. This was very recent. You can see the price numbers right here. You know, people are making the biggest gains that they've ever seen inside of this market shortly after joining VIP a lot of the time, because the content that we provide inside of this channel is so valuable. And you know, one of the key things to keep in mind, ladies and gents, is that this market is so hot right now that if you're not taking full advantage of it right now, it costs you way more than it might look like at first. Not only are you missing out on making money, you're also missing out on making money in easy ways. You know, right now the market is very easy to trade. It's been very easy for myself to call big moves in this market that have actually turned out to be very smart. Take a look at this on screen right here, which was the post that I made in VIP in February when Bitcoin was at $52,000. Let's zoom in, take a look at that $52,000 on the chart here, where I updated VIP members on explaining why I started selling some of my holdings on the previous day. And then again right here, closing some profits on Ethereum as well once this loads up. You know, really manipulating these markets to profit bigger than they drop. You know, this was on a day where the whole market dropped. I was actually making money inside of VIP. Many other VIP members were. And also, as you already know, because I can't stop bragging about this because it's very impressive to me, also managing to close a massive portion of my Ethereum position right at the all-time high, right when Ethereum was at 4,400 USD. I moved it back into Bitcoin, and again, these kind of moves, we were able to calculate them and make them way in advance because we've got that experience in this market. We've learned those lessons already 4 years ago, 3 years ago, so that now when it's happening again, none of this has taken us by surprise, and we're able to adequately position ourselves on the complete opposite end of the market. Because what we need to keep in mind, you know, whether you join VIP or not, is that 90% of traders will lose 90% of their money in 90 days. This is a real statistic. You can Google it and you can verify it yourself. It's a little bit dramatic, but the overall point is most people will lose most of their money very quickly after becoming traders. And so if you find yourself in broad agreement with the masses, you're probably on the losing side. That's why I knew that when I was doing things like scaling back my position on Bitcoin, when I was doing things like scaling back my position on Ethereum, when I was doing things like selling Swissborg token right at the top. I mean, we have been calling these tops amazingly inside of Forbes Live's VIP. You know, when I was selling Swissborg up here, when I told you I was buying it down here, this whole thing about being a contrarian has worked out so well in this market. And of course, it's easy to do that right now. That's why we're doing so well. You know, when it's not so easy, we're still operating fairly well, almost always beating out the averages in the market. But at a time like this, it really is, I mean, I hate to use the cliche, it's like taking candy out of a kid's hands. I mean, it is just, you know, because we've seen it before, and we've made those very same mistakes where, you know, this guy's in a plus 96% profit. I used to be the guy who was in a minus 96% profit. So I've learned from that, and you're seeing the result of it inside of VIP. Well worth checking out by following these steps on screen, as you already know. And those are very important notes for traders, whether or not you're taking up our plans where you can watch me trading in real time, gain access to our educational courses. You know, whether or not you do that, these are extremely important principles to be carrying forward as a trader. But we move it back to this chart right here, and the big deal right now, in my opinion, is just the fact that Bitcoin does not have any significant reversal points as support until it starts trading a little bit lower. I would say as low as 32,000 or potentially even down to just the $30,000 level. I don't see any significant reversal points. That doesn't mean that Bitcoin can't find support between these levels, between 30,000 and 38,000. It just means that, in my opinion, the chances of those things happening are quite weak. So for me, I've always been saying this, if Bitcoin did fall down to 38, it would not be particularly good, and I would want to see a very quick recovery upwards. If Bitcoin does not manage to recover upwards within literally, and I mean literally within the next, I mean, what time is it now on this chart? This is 9 a.m. UTC. You know, within, what is that? That's 5 hours later. I mean, yeah, just the next handful of hours, if Bitcoin has not managed to recover back above 40,000, back above 42,000, I'm gonna be worried, and I will turn bearish. At the moment, I'm still optimistic. I still think that this has a lot of potential to carry on rallying higher from here. That's why I made the bullish video just earlier today. And by the way, that would still be valid if Bitcoin continued to drop, because the whole idea behind that video was that good turned into bad, which turned into worse, and then worse turned into spectacular. And you know, defining worse is a little bit difficult. You could say that this is worse, you could say that dipping down to 30k is worse. I don't know. That's where the subjectivity comes in. That's where it's not so easy to do the analysis. But you know, I think putting it out there is very important. And so if Bitcoin does manage to recover fairly quickly, I will actually become very optimistic with this market. I would then consider that to be a complete 40% correction from the all-time high. That will officially be a 40% correction from the all-time high, and that will actually be the first 40% correction that we've seen in this bull market, if this is the end. And I certainly think that it has potential to be the end, because someone actually pointed out in one of my previous videos, which was actually a mistake that I made. I said that this could be an Elliott wave count, which certainly would make a little bit of sense, potentially saying that you know, we can trade downwards a little bit like this. But what someone did correctly point out to me is that usually you know, the uptrend would be the one with the Elliott wave count, which you can kind of see depending on how you draw it. That's kind of possible. And what we would see on the flip side is actually that we're correcting down with an ABC correctional wave. Bam, A, B, C, and the correction is done. We've had 3 waves. Usually the second wave down is bigger than the first wave down, so that checks a lot of boxes, and it's down by minus 40%. and we've hit Fibonacci support already. You know, I think that if Bitcoin was able to make a significant rally just over the next few hours back above some of these resistance levels around 42,000, it's in a golden place. If not, and if it does fall below, then it has punctured a major support level, and that is really going to start to worry me. On the daily time frame, we are now officially below that Ichimoku cloud. We have officially even closed a candle below it as well. So this is pretty bad. You know, on the spectrum of indicators that we failed, the Ichimoku cloud can now be added to it. We don't have momentum on the daily time frame. A lot of things are going against Bitcoin right now on small and long-term time frames, but it's all happening right as Bitcoin has hit, in my opinion, its best areas of support. So if there's any place that it's going to bounce, I think it's right here. This is definitely an extremely important time to be a trader. And if you don't already know where to trade, or you're not entirely sure where you want to be trading, then Bybit is a great place to consider. This is a platform that I've been using for years in this market. I absolutely love them, and using the link in the description down below, you're going to be getting a deposit bonus of up to $1,600, which means that depending on how much Bitcoin you deposit onto Bybit, you're going to be getting up to $1,600 completely free of charge, which you can trade with. Which means that if you deposit X amount of BTC and you gain that $1,600, you can withdraw your own money straight away. You get to keep those $1,600 and you can trade them up and withdraw any profits that you make on that money, which I think is extremely powerful, well worth checking out. You can use it as play money, you can use it as real trading money. It just adds a little bit more cash to your arsenal, gives you a little bit to play around with. There's also a tutorial down there if you want to check out my tutorial on how to use Bybit. And if you are in the United States, like I am right now, you will need a VPN. I'm using a VPN as well. Of course, I can't endorse that, but I've never had an issue with it, and I do it all the time. Everybody I know does it as well. And I think, yeah, it is overall, it's an absolutely phenomenal exchange. They've been performing very well during this market. This is the main one that I've been using as well, so super happy with them, well worth checking out. But yeah, back to this analysis. Like I said, I mean, it's just floating between these two levels. If we start consolidating here, I will shit my pants and expect that we're going to trade lower. If I wake up tomorrow and we're not above 42, it's game over as far as I'm concerned. I mean, that's just going to be too much. That's pushing it way too far, and I'm not going to be very happy with that. But you know, it's something I've got to wait and see. There's nothing else I can do right now. The analysis has been done, the levels have been breached. It's game time for Bitcoin now. If Bitcoin does fall below this, I'm expecting a much longer term correction, but if this level holds, then I absolutely think that this was the end of the bear market, and we are ready to rally up to new all-time highs. I mean, this will pump me up so much if this was actually the bottom, and I really think that there's a good chance that it could have been. So like I said, I'm not in a trade right now. I didn't actually buy Bitcoin. It's way too risky for me to touch it. I was strongly considering it when I made the previous video, and I still am, to be honest. But I don't like, look, put it this way, there is a certain level of risk with buying Bitcoin right now, because I don't know if it's going to recover upwards, right? That's very important. I don't know if Bitcoin is going to recover upwards yet, because it has not really initiated a recovery yet, which means that I get a perfect entry. I mean, this is right down at support, and we can actually measure this. If I'm targeting this yellow line up here, this would be a 63% profit, or from our current price, it would be a 58% profit, which is still absolutely great. But my risk is pretty high because we haven't actually had that recovery yet, so I don't know if we're going to get it. If I wait to see that recovery and Bitcoin manages to rise up to say 45,000, and then at 45,000 I decide to enter my long position, my profit potential has now gone down from 58% to 37%, which is a big drop in my profit potential. That's like nearly, I don't know, a 33% drop in the profits I could have experienced. My profits went down by 33%, but guess what happened to my risk? Now my risk is down by like 80%. Right? And so now you've got a beautiful risk to reward setup where actually a trade that previously looked quite risky now starts looking very, very appealing. That's the side of trading which I don't really cover in this channel. This is information that's usually just reserved for VIP members. That's partly why they're able to pull such beautiful results shortly after joining, because while this YouTube channel, this public YouTube channel, is catered very much towards analysis and providing you information on these markets and teaching how we do things, the other side of it, you know, you've got the Ferrari engine, the chassis, what you put it in is the trades, or maybe the other way around. You know, perhaps you've already got the Ferrari chassis, but you need an engine to drive it. that's the trades. And so, you know, you can't have one without the other. This YouTube channel is just half of it. The other half of it, which if you think this YouTube channel is good, you're gonna love the other half. It is 4Fly's VIP, where this person just beautifully has pulled a stunning 96% profit, you know, over 100% gain that this person ended up closing this trade in. Mentioning that VIP has been life-changing so far, to say the least. Still knowing that this person has so much to learn, but overall very glad to have join the group. So I love seeing stuff like that. It's absolutely amazing. We've got over 1,100 members inside of our 4Fly's VIP group, and if you want to get in with the discount that we're running right now, then once again the steps are on screen. Click on the first link in the description down below, then on the app 4Fly's button, and then on send message to ask me how to join, and I'll send you all the information on that right away. And it's worth noting, by the way, if you're a little bit unsure or you're not too sure what you want to go for, then we can also set up a phone call with a member of our team, or even myself. I do drop in on a lot of those calls, and we can try and help you figure out if you would be a good fit for 4Fly's VIP as well. So well worth asking for that. These steps put you in a direct messaging chat with me, so you can, like, it's a human, you can talk to me, it's me, and if it's not me, you will be talking to my assistants. So there you go. Hope you have enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit up the likes and subscribe if you've done so. If you have enjoyed the video, thank you all very much for the support. Like I said, nearly 90,000 subscribers is absolutely phenomenal. Hope you appreciate this emergency update. The most important Bitcoin video I've ever done. Once again, I got to give a shout out to Carl the Moon, because this is a funny title. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.